thank yous to give. Holy cow to all of you for all of your time, for all of your door knocking and your fundraising and your baked goods and every single hour that you have given to this campaign. I want to give a special thank you, though. We're now here in June. There were a handful of folks that were on board with this from the get-go, from the jump, in December, when we were inside there on a snowy night. Would you raise your hand if you were there from the kickoff of this, when you thought that we might be able to do this before other people did? We did it, y'all. We talked a lot that night about a lot of things, and those ideas have kept us going all the way since then. We talked about how important it is that we get health care for everybody, that we get strong schools for everybody, that we get a safe and clean planet for any of us for the long haul. But as I've had to give talks like these throughout the last 6 months, there was one thing we talked about that night that seems to resonate with some people more than anything else. We talked about how governing, what we're doing here, is not some big abstract machine, that governing is a deeply personal endeavor, that governing, at least to me, is loving your neighbor at scale. We've been talking about that the whole time. And I think that means a lot to a lot of people, and over the course of this campaign, I think I've come to understand why. That I think just about everybody embraces, to some extent, a charge to love their neighbor. That there are very few truly selfish people in the world. That what divides us is how we answer the question, and who is my neighbor? That so many people think that neighbors only live down the block. And some people see them all the way around the world. And what we learned here tonight is that at least in the 57th district, we've got neighbors everywhere. That in every corner of this district, from the Ravenna River all the way down to Kale, all across the board, we are on board with a strong progressive agenda that starts here and runs straight through Richmond. But we need to do more than that, because from the very beginning, we've also been honest about one more thing, which is that nothing that we want to do here in the 57th district can really get done until we take back the House and the Senate in Richmond. And so that means we're going to have to stretch our sense of neighborliness a little further. That means that I need you to know who our neighbors are. Our neighbor is Amy Laufer, who just got the nomination for the Senate District North here. In Charlottesville, we know Amy pretty well, and we're very excited to go to work for her. But we've got other neighbors too. Our neighbor is Josh Cole, who's running side by side Amy in the House. You might remember Josh. He ran in 2017 and lost that race by just a couple hundred votes. And his opponent wants to bring a Georgia-style abortion ban right here to Virginia. So we have to think of Josh as a neighbor from now till November so that we can make sure that he gets to come to Richmond too. Our neighbors go all the way out to the coast. Our neighbor is Karen Mallard, who's working hard to flip the House for Virginia Beach. As happy as I am for all of this, as thrilled as I am by all of you and all of the work that you have put into this, I hope you know that this is just halftime. That we have so much work to do between now and November. If there's anything that Who's fans learned this spring, it's that every second counts. So I need you to give every second that you have between now and November to help us take back the House and take back the Senate. Because until we do that, we don't get to govern. So that means that we cannot get distracted by the daily dose of chaos from DC. Between now and November, everything that we're doing is about taking past Richmond. Don't get distracted by the parade of presidential candidates that come flying through Virginia this fall. You stop every single one of them and ask them what they're doing to help us flip Richmond. There is nothing that will help a Democrat win Virginia in 2020 like showing people that good things happen when Democrats get to govern right here at home. So we've got an awful lot of work to do. We've got an awful lot of talented, energetic people to do it. We do have some rest to have between now and then, especially these folks up here. I want to make sure they get